Hey friends, welcome back to the Apology Accepted podcast. I am your host, Latisha Monique, and this week I want to talk about the power of apologies. Wow. Is there power in apologies? Apologizing to someone, is that powerful? If so, who has the power? Is it the person that is giving the apology, or is it the person that is receiving the apology? Or is it both? I don't know. Let's talk about it. Apologies hold transformative power in personal growth and relationships. They are not just about saying, "I'm sorry," but about acknowledging mistakes, taking responsibility, and making amends. In the process of personal growth, apologies allow us to reflect on our actions, understand the impact we have on others, and learn to do better. In my opinion, apologies have power. They have power because if you are sincere about the wrongdoing, then you are able to help the individual that you are apologizing to. You are able to help them regain trust, make amends. All of these things are needed and are powerful. I think the true power come in and play with communication. And the reason why I say communication is because sometimes people will apologize in their mind and it never translates out of their lips into words from their mouth to someone's ears. And they walk around thinking, well, I apologize, and I don't know why that person is still mad. Or, I don't know why me and that person don't talk, because in their mind, they apologize. However, the actual words have not left their mouth. So communication is very important when we talk about the power of apologies. When my kids were little, and this is just an example, my two middle kids, Lord, they got on my nerves so bad, but they used to just stay at each other's necks. They were my two that always argued, always fought, always just really got on each other's nerves real bad. And so one would do something to the other, and it was normally Erica doing something to AJ, normally, right? Go figure, the girl messing with the boy all the time. Anyway, I used to have to make her apologize, and she would give this this fast, just, "I'm sorry," type of apology. And what I realized is that she was really just saying the words, "I'm sorry," just to move to the next thing. So what I started doing is when they used to argue and fight and someone do something to the other, I used to make them apologize, right? But then they go, "I'm sorry." And then I will stand there and go, "Well, why are you sorry? Why are you apologizing?" So now they have to actually say what was the wrongdoing or what hurt that person or whatever the case may be. And so I use that example because in real life, as adults, when we are apologizing to someone, do we really apologize sincerely? Or is it more like, let me just say these words so we can now move to the next thing? And for the person that's receiving the apology, do we just accept the words without anything behind it or anything to go with it, because we're just so grateful that we're getting an actual apology? Meaning, I'm going to use relationships. In a relationship, something happens and one partner got to apologize to the other. So when this happens, is there a time where it's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not giving you a call back and had you worried. Like, does the reason come with the apology? Or is it just one of the partners acknowledge that the other partner is mad and it's more like, well, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. And we on to the next. I don't know. But the power of the apology comes with, in my opinion, acknowledging the fault. So, yes, again, like I say, it is power in apologies. But you have to first, as an individual, realize the fault. And then you have to come to grips with communicating effectively, meaning not only apologizing, but acknowledging why and what you are apologizing for. Because a sincere apology can go a long way. So, story time. My father's sister, back in the day, was telling people that I was not my father's child. Now, this is something that I didn't know. I didn't know, and it wasn't like it was shared with me. My mom never told me this story or nothing. So, and I was a kid. So that's why I say back in the day. Anyway, one day as an adult with my own kid, I was staying with my father, and I was at my dad's house, and I was sitting down, and I just remember sitting down and I'm folding clothes, and me and my son was in the living room, and I was going back and forth from the kitchen to the living room because I'm folding clothes and kind of getting myself together because, again, I was staying with my dad at this time. And so his sister was there, and yes, I refer to her as my dad's sister because, because we didn't have a relationship. So, yeah. And she comes and, sits down next to me, and she says to me, Tisha, I am sorry. And so it was this awkward moment of silence because I had no idea what she was saying she was sorry for. Now, I had some assumptions to what she was saying she was sorry for, but I wasn't sure. So we just kind of stared at each other for a couple of seconds because she's waiting on me to respond and I'm waiting on her to respond. And so we just looking at each other. And then she goes, because I told people that you were not my brother's child when you were born and when you were little. And so I'm just like, okay, just like that, it was an awkward moment of silence. Because again, I had no clue to this even ever being a thing. So I was just like, Now, in that moment, I didn't have a feeling. I didn't feel angry or I didn't feel relieved. It wasn't like I knew that this story was out there and this is something that she said, and like all my life I've been trying to, I don't know, make the truth come out, whatever. I didn't know that statement that she mentioned to people, folks, I don't even know who these folks are. I didn't even know it existed. So she goes on to say, and I just want to apologize to you because, I see you with your son. I think you're a wonderful mom. I think you are a wonderful young lady. I am very proud of the young lady you are. And again, it was another awkward moment of silence because how do you say thank you? How? So I think I said okay. And she kind of hugged me. So I leaned in to give her a hug back. I don't know if I did that for myself, for her, for my dad. I was not angry or anything. So I took it as, okay, you sharing some information with me that really you could have kept that to yourself. I mean, at this point, I'm an adult now. And yeah, you could have just kept that. However, the apology for her, I am assuming, was powerful because that was something that she may have felt like she needed to do. Now, I did not ask her because I don't really have conversations with my dad's sister. So it won't like we was going to sit there and kind of chop it up. I ain't ask her why. I asked no questions after that because, again, we won't going to sit and have this full-blown aunt-niece conversation because we have never done that. So, okay. For her, I just have to assume that the apology that she gave me was more for her benefit. It really had nothing to do with me, per se, in my opinion. And it was probably, again, the way that I move. I was never disrespectful, but after hello, how you doing? I really didn't have anything else. So I'm assuming she kind of wanted to get it off her chest, which, okay, cool. But again, I feel like she could have kept that to herself. I use this example because, again, for her, this apology was needed because she gave it. Because if it was not needed, and if she wouldn't have felt some type of amends of her own, then she wouldn't have never said it. I'm assuming. We give apologies because we want to amend something, whatever that may be, and we want to move forward and open up those lines of communication once we have made that apology. So the power of apologies is really a thing. It's power once you say, I apologize, I'm sorry. And then go into your why. And she went into her why. She did. She didn't just throw it out there and leave this cliffhanger. No, she said, Tisha, I am sorry because, and she gave me her reason. I respected it. I respected it. So When you are apologizing to someone, you are only responsible for your apology. That's it. You are responsible for your apology and why you are apologizing. You are not responsible for the outcome or the reaction of the individual that you are apologizing to. Because again, even after her apology, nothing changed. Nothing changed. We didn't go into having this wonderful aunt-niece relationship. Nothing changed. And let me say, nothing changed for me as the receiver. But everything might have changed for her because she was able to make amends with that portion of her wrongdoing as she may have felt. But nothing changed with me. And the outcome as I see it was, okay, and now everybody is cordial, and I continue to, whenever they're in my presence, I speak. But that's as far as it go. And so I thought that was a great example to give, because oftentimes you just have people out here saying, "Oh, my bad." And that means absolutely nothing. You saying "my bad" means nothing to someone, to the receiver who may have felt very hurt or very distraught by whatever the issue was. And so being intentional about the apology is very important. And you have to know why you're apologizing. And you have to know that I am doing this because of what? What are you apologizing for? Because the what gives the apology the actual power, because you're able to now have that communication, being able to say, this is why, and it was messed up on my part. Now, as the receiver of an apology, how do you feel when somebody apologized to you? What does that feel like to you? I know I expressed, I didn't really feel a way, or did I feel a way? To me, I didn't feel a way, and it was all right, business as usual, because for me, everything was still the same after the apology. I didn't really feel a way. Now, receiving an apology from maybe my spouse, right? That's a little different, because this is my partner, my friend, my spouse, my lover, whatever the case may be. Receiving an apology is different. So any apology I've ever received from my significant other it always felt different. It felt like a relief. You acknowledge that this thing caused an issue for us as a couple, not just me. It caused the issue for us. So therefore, I feel differently receiving that apology. And vice versa. When I have to apologize to my partner, the outcome is different, because he acknowledged that I had to apologize and acknowledge whatever the wrongdoing was. And we're able to, from that conversation of the apology, have a clean slate. Because in relationships, a sincere apology can mend broken trust, open the door to forgiveness and strengthen bonds. It creates a space for honest communication, understanding, and mutual respect. So you have to have a mutual respect for one another in order to even pull this off. Because sometimes it don't matter what you finna apologize for. If there's no mutual respect between the person that's apologizing and the receiver, the apology will never be the apology will never be whole. It will never be sincere. It'll just be some words coming out somebody's mouth, regardless of how sincere the giver of the apology is. If the receiver already looked at you in a way of disrespect, then it's not going to be received. And I mentioned before, we are not responsible for the outcome. So it don't matter. It don't matter. What we're responsible for is the effort that we give. So even if you know a person does not respect you in a manner of, even if you said you apologize to them, that it wouldn't mean nothing. If the apology has power for you, then you still should apologize. Whether that's in person, by phone, by letter. Do people write letters anymore? I don't know. By letter, by text message. Like, that's power for you to probably mend some of the things that you have going on to be able to pursue a better outcome for you, not necessarily for them. And that's where my dad's sister came into place. Her apology really wasn't for me, because guess what? I knew nothing about the issue. Her apology was for her. And I am glad that she was able to even do it. I'm glad she was able to do it. It was a success for her. And she was able to mend whatever that was. Because again, that did absolutely nothing for me. Now I'm going to leave you guys with this. Apologizing to someone does not mean or does not equal weakness at all. It actually equals strength to me, my opinion, all right? Because again, you are able to identify wrongdoing and being adult enough or mature enough, because children have to apologize too. Nevertheless, being mature enough to apologize, that is power. That alone is power. So when you are in your thoughts or even in your prayers, you realize you have done something that is warranted an apology to someone, then I'm going to challenge you to do it. I'm going to challenge you to apologize to someone. Whether it's you are at the grocery store and you done got smart with the stock person or the cashier person, and all they are there to do is their job, and you done went and got a whole attitude with somebody, and then, cuss them out. Yeah, just stand right there and apologize, because it ain't necessary. We got to get better with communicating to people. And we have to get better with understanding that saying that you are sorry for something, or you don't want to use the word sorry, because that's a thing too. And I realize that the word sorry is a thing, and some people look at it as demeaning. I get it. But let's normalize saying the words apology at a minimum. At a minimum, let's utilize just saying, you know what, I apologize about that. I really didn't mean to come off rude. Let's start over. You know what, I apologize about that. Sorry if you took that the wrong way. That wasn't my intent. We just have to be able to communicate effectively across the board, not just at work, not just at school, not just with our peers, not just with our partners, but everywhere. Everywhere. So the power of apologies is a thing, and it is powerful. And even though I didn't give an example of how it changed for the better, there are still situations where it could change for the better. Okay? So I'm going to leave you guys with that. That's something to think about. Until I come voice to mic again, you guys be safe. Always love ya. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Apology Accepted podcast. I hope today's conversation sparked some growth for you. Be sure to subscribe and share with others who might need this reminder too. Until next time, you all, remember, healing starts with a simple apology. Take care.